Middle East, there is something more precious than oil, and it ain't gold or any other mineral-based natural resource, nor is it the friends we made along the way. It's water. The average person uses about 560 liters of water a day, compared to the world average of about 180 liters.
Well, there could be another dark chapter to the war in the Middle East, and that's to do with humankind's most basic need, water. Iran, which has been suffering severe water shortages, has accused the US of striking one of its desalination plants. Tehran is now threatening to strike the Gulf's water infrastructure if the US hits its energy facilities. So is water another frontier in this war?
What on earth is happening? The place that used to be the top place for expats to go, camels in the desert, the Burj Khalifa, tall buildings, all types of things happening with luxury in a place that quite honestly built it fairly quickly from the 1960s. I mean, they had become the top in the world, known for luxury living, but with the Iran war, see, Dubai is not number one anymore. In fact, there are governments out here that are actually issuing residence permits for 10 years. There are governments out here that are issuing residence permits if you pay your rent up front for an entire year. There are governments out here that are attracting people, expats, who are entrepreneurs or retirees who were living in Dubai. Now these people, they're heading to the global south. And in this video, we're gonna tell you where they're heading, why they're heading there, and what it means for you, because there's something a little sinister beneath all of this as well.
So make sure you like the video, leave your comments below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, because things are shifting fast. And if you do not keep up with this change, you're gonna be behind in this next step that they're trying to bring to the forefront.
Exactly. And listen, let's be real. If we were to look at the geography, let's just pop up the geography real quick right here. The geography in the Middle East is a desert. Saudi Arabia, Dubai, all the folks up there, they're living in a desert. They have been living in a desert for some time. These descendants of Ishmael or whoever they are living in one of the most difficult places on earth to live in without modern technology, which brings us into a water crisis. Now, the globe is going through a water crisis. And so when you have expats, entrepreneurs, investors that are in a geopolitical escalation landscape, they do not want to go somewhere that's in a water crisis anymore. They're now thinking about safety, risk analysis. They're not thinking, hey, I want to just be in Dubai because I want to just sit on top of the Burj Khalifa. They're like, wait a minute, we do need food and water. Safety is something that we need, which brings us to Mauritius, Africa.
Yes, Mauritius is one of the safest countries in 2025, and we are in 2026, and we have been here long enough to tell you our experience and tell you, hey, this is safe. Some nights I go to sleep pretty early because my teenage son is up, and I know that he's going to take care of some responsibility and lock the door. And sometimes I wake up and the door is unlocked. And this is something that I'm starting to get used to, where it's like, nobody really does nothing. I'm not trying to stress about, locking my door because it's so safe. You know, nobody bothers people like that when it comes down to certain crimes and things like that. So this is why I say, like, I don't stress about locking my door, you know, doing things like that, because I know it's safe. And this is one of the main things people have to realize. Safety is key, residency is key, and just how I guess the ease to do business in a country is very key too, and how the system is running. So this is why I say, hey, us being here in Mauritius, our experience has been lovely. It has not been anything short than great, to be honest.
Let's talk about that residency access, because I want to compare Mauritius and Dubai. Although Dubai has a 10-year permit that is out there now for entrepreneurs, IT professionals, people in technology, people that are ready to invest in that way, get this. Mauritius offers long-term access while Dubai offers anchoring access. They both have business-friendly visas, fast setups, global connectivity, but much is conditional in Dubai. tied to your business renewal, shifting policy, frameworks, all of these things. And it's a place you operate from. But Mauritius, on the other hand, offers something quieter and deeper. Long-term residency pathways beyond 10 years. You renew for 20 years on the retirement visa or the retirement residency, and you can renew for another 10 to 20 years on the self-employed entrepreneur one as well. These premium type of visas that they also have, digital nomad visas for new people who have not gotten their premium visa yet, it allows you to stay in the place year by year, easily, simply, just uploading paperwork into a portal, a government portal. You should check out the Economic Development Bank of Mauritius because they are the place to go for all things paperwork. But it makes your life easy, where you can stay somewhere that's safe, not only safe, but has a 60% lower cost of living than America currently. I love to keep up to date on these statistics. I love to keep up to date on these numbers because when people that are from different areas of the world, maybe South Africa or Rwanda, or maybe even Belgium, say, hey, Mauritius is expensive. Well, ma'am, sir, I come from America. When you come from America, there is no other country that is more expensive than America. Believe me, I've looked far and wide. The closest you're going to come to American rates is in Norway or New Zealand, hands down, or in Australia. And get this, we have tax clarity versus tax narratives. Dubai has long been associated with low or no tax. They may tax you up to 8%, from 0% to 8%. That narrative is starting to evolve completely because compliance layers are expanding. International pressure is reshaping how financial systems interact, and it's no longer a simple equation the way that it once was in the early 2020s. See, Mauritius, on the other hand, operates on a territorial tax system. Foreign sourced income does not get taxed when structured properly and can benefit from clarity rather than constant adjustment. It's not necessarily about escaping tax, but it's about understanding it and knowing how to set your legacy up for success and not failure, which, by the way, brings me to May 3rd. I think May 3rd is maybe 10 days away or less. And on May 3rd, something interesting is happening. It's cohort 8 of the Mature Adult Intensive, www.journeywithusmovetoafrica.com/services. And if you are someone that's like, hey, I'm ready for these more mature conversations, but I'm exhausted from Googling this stuff alone, I thought I would go to Mexico or Ghana or Korea or Thailand, but that side of the world is looking mighty interesting to me. Week 1, we go through geopolitics and wartime framing. Week 2, we go through your finances and see, okay, which international bank accounts do you need to open while you are still in America so your thousands of dollars are not getting frozen while abroad. Like, no expat should be experiencing that in 2026, to be quite honest with you. Week 3, we go through your best residency pathways in the island of your choosing based on the programs they have available, while telling you, hey, you may want to get your power of attorney. Are you going to be renting out your house while you're in the States? What are you going to be doing career-wise? Are you going to pivot and switch into technology and AI? How are those things working for you? And then week 4 is the recap of that entire 40-page curriculum. Now understand, clarity compounds faster than confusion. And so you really want to get clear, because your next move has to be your best move as we are living in World War III.
When you move from your home country, you have to realize the place that you choose has to make sense. And when I say make sense, it has to have the right residency for you, that's carved out for you, that allows you to make sure the taxes is not too high, make sure the infrastructure is there. Because as we know, here in Africa, there is a crisis already when it comes down to power outages, when it comes down to water outages. You get what I'm saying?
That's
true.
So
in the times that we are in right now, and they're talking about energy crisis, and you try to go to one of these countries that's already load shedding every week, how worse do you think this could get? You get what I'm saying? So this is why infrastructure is very important to pay attention to. and you got to pay attention to the government and how the government take care of their citizens. That's very important too, because it's not something to play with when the government just kind of doesn't care of what's going on and they just want to be greedy and fill their own pockets. You have to see how the government is taking care of energy in a way. Are they using resources the right way? Do they have windmills? Do they have solar panels? Do they have filtered water systems? You get what I'm saying? Where it's like, okay, this makes sense. You don't want to go somewhere where it's not making sense for you. It's not making sense to live there. It's not making sense to, do business there. It's not making sense to grow there. Because when you move from your home country, you just want to grow. You don't want to, go somewhere where it's too difficult and you just kind of give up and it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. So geography is very important. The right country is very important.
Yeah, geography is not neutral, okay? Now, Mauritius sits in the Indian Ocean, less visible, less discussed, and politically stable. It's structurally calm. In a decade where unpredictability is increasing like wildfire, being somewhere that's peaceful and has a location that has beautiful scenery becomes insulation. It becomes an asset instead of a liability. You do not want your geographical location, once you are an expat, retiree, investor, entrepreneur operating outside of America, to then become a liability, okay? You don't want to go from bad to worse. You don't want to go from bad to horrible. You want to go from bad to, okay, this is more sustainable, this makes sense, this makes my life easier, and is projected to have high growth in the future in these sectors. Now, lifestyle, of course, will shape your decisions. This is the piece most people underestimate because Dubai moves fast. Consumption is normalized, expansion is encouraged, and the environment rewards scale very quickly. But Mauritius slows you down. Mauritius is not about ambition, but it's about rhythm. It's about focusing and beginning to think less about how to earn more and more about how to retain the wealth that you have, how to structure it properly, and how to protect your family's legacy for generations. Because if you didn't know, Seychelles and Mauritius are the top finance hubs in Africa where people go to protect their wealth, okay? Now here's the real migration. This is not like a mass random migration. It's a quiet reallocation of energy, resources, and lifestyle. Status now moves into sovereignty. Speed, now the preference is stability. Visibility, oh, we don't care about that anymore. We want protection in the world that's going to come. Because for many, Dubai was phase one, and it was great for a time before all the missiles started falling and people woke up to the water crisis and started seeing, oh, this isn't really sustainable in the long term, especially if you're a retiree. But phase two is going to be so much different for expats. It's going to ask a deeper question. Where is my income safest? Where can my residency endure to the end? Where does your lifestyle support long-term clarity? Dubai built wealth with visibility, but Mauritius, they're building wealth through protection of assets, and that's speaking to a different class of people.
When you move abroad, your mindset should shift. You should already know like the systems that you're getting into, or if you don't, you will learn. So it's not about like following the trend. It's really about transitioning to the right country and the right systems. And some expats, they don't say these things. I know for us, we didn't say anything where we were for about a year and a half. And once we realized, okay, this is what we need to be doing, this is what, the Most High have been telling us to do, is tell our people about this information, because it's very important to know. This is where things start to shift for you. The environment that you're in, it should allow you to be sustainable long term. It should allow you to, make sure that you are protecting your assets, just like my wife was saying. Like, it's not about wasting your assets and then the country's been a liability. It's about having your assets grow. Like, is this country growing? You get what I'm saying? Is the population growing? Is the government moving with the times that we are in? Because if they are just stuck in the 1980s, you know, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be something like, man, this is like, they don't get it. Why are they stacking up paperwork in the office when they using a computer right here? So it's really important to know which governments and immigration is working with the times that we are in. So that's something that you need to, you just need to know.
Yeah, because you have to think about this as an entrepreneur. You need that modernization, that infrastructure. If you're a business owner, you already know. There are places that you will go as a digital nomad, as an investor, where if the infrastructure is not up to par, this is why you'll see companies leaving these territories. A lot of times it happens in East Africa, where an American company will come in and then they have to exit within 2 or 3 years, within 5 years, because they're just not able to get a return on their investment. Now, these companies have a little bit more leverage than you do. There are multi-million billions that they can use to get back to wherever they need to go. But for you, a move like that can be detrimental when it shouldn't be. Now, I think that's it for this video. We will see you in the next one. Check out the links in the description. Share this with 20 expats who don't know about the mass migration out of the Middle East. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, family.